Done.
All right, cool. All right, I think everything's good. Let's see. So, all right, let's get right into it. Hold on, let me just turn this down. All right, cool. All right. So, hey everyone, this is Carter McKinney from the Entrepreneurs Club podcast. I just wanted to invite you guys to come with me on this journey with Dr. Michael Koku. He is an amazing speaker, author, leader, and so many other things. And I just want to have Dr. Michael introduce himself. I met him in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania at a leadership conference, and he was doing a training and doing some breakout sessions. And I'm really happy that he could join us today and tell us about his journey as an entrepreneur. All right, so welcome to the podcast. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. I'm so excited to be right here today. This is Dr. Michael Koku. I'm a Maswell leadership speaker, coach, trainer, executive, independent director, and also I'm a trained physician. I started my journey in medical school, and because I've always had a desire to be a doctor, I was trained in the best medical school in the West Africa, and it's called University College Hospital. And after my medical education, I practiced 3 years before I relocated with my wife to United States. We were in Raleigh, North Carolina. So we moved from Raleigh, North Carolina. We just spent 3 months and we relocated to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And one of the things I do apart from being a leadership speaker, coach, trainer, and author, I'm an author of 12 books. I also pastor a church right here in Philadelphia. And we have a lot of community outreaches that we do both locally and globally. I also started the Lamb Global Community that was created more than 3 years ago. And am privileged to work with 25 strong and dynamic leaders. And we've done more than 12 global leadership conferences. And we still got 4 more to go this year. And it's been a real journey for me. To me, life is an exciting business and it's most exciting when live for others. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So let's get into a little bit more of your early life. You said you were born in Nigeria
Yep.
and you went to medical school there and then you pivoted towards leadership. So what was the thing that kind of, while you were growing up, in your medical journey, and also as a pastor, what brought you to pivot towards the leadership space?
That's a very good question. And I want to say, Carter, you are such a great person. The reason why I'm here today is because of Carter. Carter has a heart of gold. You are such a, and I mean, you are a great personality, and that was how I connected with you. Because I've met people before, but you are just different. You have this magnetic personality. So I was in medical school, and this is how came into leadership. Because in medical school, we were told that you guys are the head of the medical team, and if you look at the way the healthcare organization work, the system, I mean, we have doctors, nurses, engineers, administrators. I mean, different different people. I mean, it's just like an organization, but because an healthcare, so doctors happen to be the head of the medical team, and because of that, it's just like a birthright that you guys are going to be the head. And there's this Cold War that you can see nurses having resentment towards doctors because they see it as birthright for them to be the head. And one day, because I was also pastoring, when I was in medical school from my when I got to second year, one of my fellowship members, he gave me a book called two books. The first one is Developing the Leader Within You by Dr. John Maswell. You can see him behind me. And the second one is Developing the Leader Around You. Reading those books did not just change my life. It opened my eyes to see how we have been told that we are the head. And I realized that according to the book, there are 5 levels of leadership that, oh, the best of us, the professors, every one of us, we are on level one. There's a real problem here. I'm like, wow. So that got me hungry to begin to learn. And the good thing about the book is the book tell us, it will tell you where you are and how you can climb the ladder. So and I began to learn and I realized the leadership bar is so low. because it's so low, because there are five levels, in case if you have not had, there are five levels of leadership. The first level is what we call level one. It's based on position. It's based on position. And level one is what we call position leadership. It's based on right. I mean, because you have the position and you become the leader. The second level is, is leadership by permission. That one is based on relationship. At this level, you begin to develop relationship with the people that you are leading. You getting to know them. They begin to like, know, and trust you more. And at level one, which is positional leadership, people follow you because they have to, because you have the position. So level two, people follow you because they want to, because they like you. So level three is leadership by production. So this is based on results. So at this level, you begin to produce results for the organization and they follow you because of the results that you are producing. But level four is based on people development. This is leadership by people development is based on reproduction. That means you are not only producing results, you are able to produce other leaders that knows how to produce results. So the last level, which is level five, is what we call the pinnacle. And some other people call it personhood, but it's the pinnacle. It is based on respect, and it takes a long time to get there. So when I begin to learn these five levels, like I said, it was an eye opener, and I began to walk my way up, and because I was really I was level one leader, because everyone that I see around me, all the doctors, the professors that we looking up to, we are all level one. But that book really helped me, and I took a lot of notes. And the second book that I read, Developing Leaders Around You, and I realized that, oh, it's not just me that I need to grow me. I need to learn how to grow others, and that has helped me. And and that's why I'm here today. Just it's not only just about growing yourself, but learning how to grow others. That is when leadership enter what we call the multiplication phase, and everybody gets better because a leader has gotten better, but they start with you. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's incredible. Thank you for sharing the different levels of leadership.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense because, just because you have a position in a job, everyone knows that boss that, they're not doing a lot and,
Yeah.
they're just kind of benefiting from their position and, really, going from, the role that you have then on to, building more of a rapport with your audience, them trusting you, and then even by position and other things, it's really interesting to see how that works.
Yeah.
So, can you talk a little bit more about the turning point in your life when you joined Maxwell Leadership?
Oh,
And pretty
wow.
much what did you see or learn that
In
made you
fact,
realize leadership had become
God, I wish you can say that again. I tell you, because a lot of times, as young leaders, when young leaders are just coming up, we think we know it all, that we don't need any mentorship. And I joined the Maslow leadership after serving in the Salvation Army for 11 years. It was during the COVID time, so they reduced my hours, and I love to do stuff. So it was during that time God just led me to join the Maswell leadership team. It was John Maswell team at that time. So I joined because I have more time in my hand. I said, I want to do something with this time. So I just realized that, wow, that opportunity for me to learn more, to grow more, so that I can do what I'm doing more effectively. And after I joined in May 18, 2020, I got my certification August. Oh, it was a turning point in my life. I was just hungry, and I began to learn, I began to grow, and I began to create. I began to have opportunities to speak. I was doing training during the COVID time. I did. There's something we call mastermind. The first one that I did 12 groups. I did four groups on Friday, four on Saturday, four on Wednesday, because I was being paid severance from my work at that time. I was laid off. So I got more time. I was just diving into leadership. And because I did that 8 weeks, trained 12 different groups. And what I learned, because as I was, because leadership is not just growing yourself, but sharing what you are learning with others. It's really helped me to grow a lot. And after my certification, I joined the mentorship. And now I'm in the executive program, which gave me access to more resources. And the good news is this: I wrote my first book when I was in medical school. It's called Understanding Medical School for medical students. That was my first book in November 2000. Then my second book, I wrote it in 2003 during my 30th birthday, and that book came out in September. But for 20 years, I never wrote a book. But I knew that I need to write, but I was just stuck. But because I was in the Master leadership, which is a growth environment, so that hunger to grow began to manifest. And with the grace of God, and between 2023 and 2025, in less than 2 years, I wrote 10 new books. I mean, people are like, wow, how did you do that and all that? Because I have a vision for 2023 to write 10 books, but I only did five. 2024, I did four new books. But last year, I did my latest book, and Leader, Lead Yourself. I'm so excited about, out of all the books that I've done, this is my most excited book because this book gave people 10 pillars of personal leadership. Because I find that a lot of people they just end up just like me. That's how I started, in the position of leadership, but they don't know how to lead. So I begin to ask question that what if there's a formula? What if there's a framework that people can use that no matter who you are, no matter where you live, this is a universal principle that you can just follow this framework. And this is how this came. And it's all acronym. Everything is the acronym for this personal leadership, these 10 pillars is leadership. I mean, it was so simple because all my books are simplistic. I'm an acronym people. I learned that gift in medical school. So the 10 pillars are acronym, and the acronym is leadership. L is learn continuously. That's the L. Then the E is exercise self leadership, exercise self discipline. And then the A is act with accountability. Then the D is demonstrate emotional intelligence. And the E is embrace purpose and passion. Then the R is reflect and realign regularly. Then the next one is X, set clear and stretching goals. And the next alphabet is H, harness your inner motivation. The next alphabet is I, inspire yourself first. And then the last one is persevere through challenge. So these are the 10 pillars. And I mean, like I said, the acronym is leadership. So, like I said, this book really, I'm so really excited when I can get this book out because, like I said, it doesn't matter who you are, you hearing this podcast, as many people that will watch this, share it. People can now have a framework if they get this book, Leader, Lead Yourself. Because that is what people are telling leaders. Lead yourself. Look at now. You want to lead me. My mentor, Dr. John Maswell, I was with him last month at the conference. You can see him. That's where we took this picture. In fact, if you look at that picture, it was actually holding my book. Yeah. So I took this picture with him. So he said something that really stood out to me at this last conference. He said, the credibility of a leader is the ability to lead himself well. So that's the credibility of a leader. So your credibility as a leader is the ability to lead yourself well. He said, but the authenticity, no, sorry, the credibility of a leader is the ability to lead others well. That's the credibility of a leader, the ability to lead others well. He said, but the authenticity of a leader is the ability to lead yourself well. Wow, that was really all bueno. I'm doing Spanish. It's all good. Because, Carter, I see a lot of leaders, you telling other people, because the hardest person to lead is yourself. And this is why when you lead yourself first, believe me, Sally, you can lead others well. Let me share this story too that I shared in this book about one great leader. His name is Mahatma Gandhi. So there was a woman that came to Mahatma Gandhi, and the woman came, he walked long distance just to see Mahatma Gandhi because his little boy is eating a lot of sugar. And he has talked to the boy that stop eating sugar. It's not good for your health. But this little boy will not listen. But because he knew that everyone respect Mahatma Gandhi, and Mahatma Gandhi is like an idol to this boy. It's like a mentor. So I said, okay, let me take him. And it's a long distance. She has to walk that long distance in the sun in India just to see Mahatma Gandhi. So when he got there, he said, Bapu. Bapu means father in India. He said, Bapu, my little boy is eating sugar. Please, can you tell him to stop eating sugar? I just thought that Mahatma Gandhi would tell the little boy, so stop eating sugar. Sugar is not good for you. But that's not what he said. You know what he said to that little boy? He said, he didn't even talk to the little boy. He told the mom, he said, please, can you bring this young man, bring him back in 2 weeks? The woman was puzzled that I came from a long distance, walk all the way in the sun, and all you're going to tell me is to bring him back in 2 weeks? Well, since she got no option because she has tried to stop, the little boy would not stop. He said, no problem. I'll come again. And she came back in 2 weeks' time. And then Mahatma Gandhi now looked. The first time he couldn't look the boy in the face. The boy was looking at him, but he couldn't look the boy in the face. He was just talking to the mom. But now he looked at the boy in the face. He said, young boy, stop eating sugar. It is not good for your health. Then the woman was like, what? You kidding me? He said, why can't you say this 2 weeks ago? Now he now turned away from the little boy. He now turned to the woman. He now said it softly. 2 weeks ago, I am still eating sugar. That 2 weeks ago, he is still eating sugar. So he don't have the moral authority to tell the little boy to stop because by 2 weeks ago, I'm still eating sugar myself. That's a classical story. And,
Yes.
and when I heard that, I said, wow. In fact, that's why I share that story right here because, Kara, is easy to tell people what to do. What is hard is to do it. Because the greatest gap in life is between what we know and what we do. So that's why I wrote this book, and I wrote it with a passion and to help leaders. And I really see a lot of leaders, they really meant well, but because they don't know how to lead themselves first, and it's really hard to lead others when you can't lead yourself first. In fact, one of my mentors, she shared a story in this book. She's a former Black Hawk pilot, Miss Elizabeth McCormick. In fact, she's currently the number 13th motivational speaker in the world, in the whole world. And she has a chapter that she shared because she has a book coming out in June called Fly. Fly is a concept. It said, first lead yourself. So I allow her to share because she has since I know she's about to write a book on personal leadership. So I pick her brain and I had a section for her and she shared a lot on personal. That's a bonus so that people can see. And she shared her story, how she transitioned from the corporate, from the military air force to now come to be a great speaker, a great leader, and all that. So I did a lot of work here, and I also end this book with a great closing. And I shared something. Oh wow! In fact, that's a big bonus. The way I closed this book, the book was closed with a framework. And the framework that the epilogue is only leaders who lead themselves first can lead others well. What I shared in that chapter is enough for one book on its own. So this book is a
Hmm.
mega book for anyone that got it. So that it doesn't matter who the person is, it doesn't matter what position you find yourself. Just read this book. You will have the confidence to lead others because to lead others well you have to lead yourself well first. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 100% right.
Yeah.
I really love that story about, yeah, I think you told me that one when we were together as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So in terms of like tactics in your leadership coaching, so what leadership mistake do you see high achievers make most when they move into leadership roles other than, not leading themselves first?
That's a very good question. And one great mistake that high achievers make is um I'll just speak from the quote and from Bill Gates. Bill Gates said, success is a lousy teachers because it fools smart people that they can lose. So one of the great mistakes that high achievers are making is, and they just see failure as an enemy. And there's a new book that just came out from my mentor now. It's How to Get a Return on Failure. And it's a book that changed people's attitude towards failure because the word fail itself is first attempt in learning. I was listening to Steve Harvey, and Steve Harvey was talking about Michael Jordan, that in all his careers, that he had a lot of misses than the ball that he was able to score, than the score that he made. But nobody remember his misses. They remember what he got right. And he talk about the baseball player too. They have a lot of strikeout. He said, but that doesn't count. What really counts is what they got right. So in life, a lot of leaders, they are afraid of failure. That what if I fail? But I want to explain something to leaders. I'm going to help you with something I learned from my mentor, Dr. John Maswell. There are two circles in life. We have what we call the circle of success and then the circle of doom. Now, watch this. I didn't say circle of success and circle of failure. No. Circle of success and the circle of doom. Now, in the circle of success, there are five components. And this is what great organizations use. The five components in the circle of success are test, fail, learn, improve, and re-enter. So test is when you do something. So when you test a lot, you're gonna fail a lot. But the good news is you will learn a lot because the word fail is first attempt in learning. The real failure is when you don't learn. So, and we begin to realize that it changed the way we see failure. So when we test a lot, we're going to fail a lot. And when we fail a lot, we're going to learn a lot. And when we learn a lot, we're going to improve a lot. Re-enter means do it again. So that's what we call the circle of success. But the circle of doom, it has only three components. And that's what many people are doing. Many high achievers are doing. So what does this look like? It is test, fail, and re-enter. Can you see the difference? There's no learning, there's no improvement, and they just keep on doing the same thing all over again. They just keep on going that's what we call it, the circle of doom. So it's not circle of failure, it's circle of doom. Because there's nothing, there's no such thing as failure in life. What looks like failure is success in progress. Think about Edison. Thomas Edison, they asked him, how many times did you fail? He said, I didn't fail. I only learned how not to do it. Think about Amazon Fire when it came. It looks like a failure, but what they learned, they were able to improve to create another product. Many times when we see a company come out with products, Kara, you know what I'm talking about as an entrepreneur. If I ask you, you have a lot of stories, some mistakes that you have made, But great leaders, they learn from their mistake. They don't make any excuse. They learn from it. And that learning is what leads to improvement for them to grow to a whole new level. So this is what high achievers need to know. They need to create an environment. And the question I want people to start asking themselves is, what will you do if you know that you cannot fail? I want high achievers to stop being afraid of failure. And this is how you do it. Instead of saying, what if I fail? Start saying, even if I fail, I will learn something. and with and stop having a fear of failure, because failure and success, they are not opposite. When we grew up, they said, oh, the opposite of failure is success. No, failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the road to success. And that's why Dr. John Maxwell wrote the book Fail Forward.
Hmm.
Fail forward means when you fail, learn from it and use it to move forward. Like I said, I failed my first exam in medical school. That's why I wrote my first book. Yeah. So after I failed that exam, I learned. I got something from Steve Harvey today. You know what Steve Harvey said?
What did he say?
Steve Harvey said, you don't learn nothing when you are winning. You learn through failure. And that was the thing about it. The great coach James John Wooden. One time his team was playing, and his team now won that game. Deep down, he wasn't happy. He wanted his team to lose that game. Why? Because he knew that failure will humble them to learn. Because most of the time, when I achievers, you did something right. You thought you got everything all together. I remember one time I went to speak somewhere. Anytime, anywhere I went to speak, I always got a good review, good feedback. But this particular place, and they paid me a lot of money, and I just went there and the feedback that I got is not because I didn't do what I'm supposed to do, but I just realized that I wasn't sensitive in the sense that they were all away from, they were on vacation. They just came. I didn't allow them to spend enough time with their teammates. And I was big about giving them a lot of things to learn. I want to make sure that the time is well spent. But based on my reflection, I realized that I would have allowed more free time. So some of them, they were not really happy about that. So because of that, they didn't give me a good review. It's not because I didn't do what I'm supposed to do. You see what I'm saying? And since then, I begin to learn that, oh, next time when I go to this thing, I'm sensitive to give people more time for interaction, that kind of stuff. But anytime I remember that meeting, oh, wow, it's really an humbling moment for me because I've never got that review again. I mean, that review was really, it was like failure, but it was something that I have to learn from. So when you fail, learn from it and use it as a vehicle for learning and improvement. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, and Denzel Washington, I always reference him. He just says, "Fail fast,"
Yeah. Yeah.
fail. The road to success is paved with failure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the next question that I have for you is, in terms of more of a philosophical layer to your business, why do you believe that real leadership starts with service?
Well, because the thing about that question is one of the best questions because service is the heart of leadership. People used to die, people that have a heart condition, they used to die until 1962 when somebody came up uh, to discover how to do a heart transplant. And people used to die because until then, heart transplant was not a possibility until he came up with this. It was a South African doctor that came up, I think Dr. George Bernard. But the main thing I just want to tell you is that's how services is the heart of leadership. Because as a leader, your greatness is not in how many people that are serving you. The greatness of a leader, the true measure of a leader is how many people are you serving? Because one thing about service is this: service is so powerful in leadership. That's why I wrote a book in servant. This book is about servant leadership. It's called The Area Code. That book is a classic unveiling the essence of servant leadership, the area code. And I learned this. This is, listen, all the every books that I've ever written, I'm not a philosopher. I'm a practitioner. When we are trained in medical school, we were trained to practice, you know, not to philosophize. I don't believe in philosophy. I mean, just saying something and not doing it. I love to walk the talk. So everything I've ever written is something I've done, is something I'm doing. So this book, I learned this principle about this book 20 years ago when I was working as a physician. I was a house physician. And at that point, it is customary to people, when you meet young doctors in a unit, they call themselves, they are the senior house officer. So we that just came, that you are the junior. That means in that unit, they are telling you that you met them here. So it's all about positional stuff. I'm here before you. And guess what? I wasn't arguing with them. So I just came in. I just came in there to serve. So this is when, like I said, I'm a person of faith. And as a person of faith, God began to show me this principle that, Michael, don't fight for position. Serve your way to the top. And that's when I learned this area code. And what does the area code means? It means accept responsibility, exercise authority. So what responsibility? Accept responsibility to serve. And God began to show me that, Michael, anywhere you go from now, accept responsibility to serve. That means by doing what others will not like to do. Once you do that, I guarantee you, you will be able to exercise authority. And that's how that area came from. Oh, and he said this is true in every area of life, in any industry. And guess what? That's what I did. So what I did is I was looking for the client in the world that has the most problem. And guess what? All these people that were calling themselves leaders, they don't want that. We have what we call cold case and odd case. They don't want the odd case. The odd case will keep them in the world. It will keep them working. They just want a client that is already good, that everything is fine, that is about to leave, so that they can just they will do little, they will do the minimum, like minimum payment and leave. And I realized that before 12 o'clock, all of them, they are no longer in the world. They've gone to their room watching videos, watching movie. But because I'm carrying more weight. The kind of client that I went for, I have two critical clients that one of them, he just did a transplant. So you have to do a lot of work on it. It kept me on my feet in the ward. It's as if I'm the only doctor in that ward. And that's what I was doing. Guess what happened? There are three consultants in that ward, nephrologists. And one of them, he said, I am operating at the level of resident. And I was not even a resident at that time. I mean, that was the highest compliment that, because this man is very hard to please. And he gave me that compliment. And even when I finished my house job, he offered me a job. This man is so difficult to please. So, but I now saw that this principle work. So anywhere I go, I don't even fight for position. I just look, okay, what are the things that people doesn't want to do? I do the dirty work. And I end up being the leader. So this is the principle. This is where I learned. I learned servant leadership by practice. And like I said, it's not a book that I could write that because it is something I have to walk through the process. And since I have done it a long time, in fact, before I wrote this book 2 years ago, it was 18 years after I have practiced this thing that I put it into writing. And that's the thing about leaders. If I am my way, I can put this book in the hand of every leaders. And in this book, I shared a lot of principles about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi, about servant leadership. And I encourage people that you need to understand that when you accept responsibility to serve, you will end up in the leadership position because leadership is all about service. Like you now, what are you doing today? You serving. It's not about you. You serving people. You have a heart through the entrepreneur club to serve more people. And that's what leadership is all about. So if you remove service from leadership, what you got left is just hype. Yeah. So leadership is all about service. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes, and I completely agree. All the way from learning and mastering a craft, from being a
Yeah.
beginner, moving
Yeah.
up through being a master of your craft and the 10,000 hours of mastery and all those great things.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really does start with service. And I would
Yeah.
say, in terms of our audience as well, right? So we have everything from, dreamers, people that are conceptualizing what they want to do or
Yeah.
figuring out what they want to do. We have early entrepreneurs, established business owners, and even rebuilders, people that have done stuff or they're pivoting, just like you had a pivot in your career.
Yeah.
So for the dreamers out there, what is a leadership habit that someone should build before they even have a title?
Wow. That's awesome. Now, it seems everything you're talking about, I got a book for it.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's why I picked you.
This, you talk about the dreamers. I wrote a book for the dreamers. And the book that I wrote for the dreamers is Live Life Big. And this book is Don't Live Your Dream, Live Your Dream. Now, you know what? I want to tell you something, Kara. You are not a dreamer, you are a doer. I'm tired of hearing a lot of dreamer, dreamer, dreamer. They are doing nothing about their dream. One of the person that I mentored, one of our team leaders, she's my mentee. She wrote a journal. You know what the journal is?
What is it?
The Dreamers and the Doers Journal. It's on Amazon. I wrote the forward for her. In fact, she don't even make me write the forward. You know what she did? She went to AI. He said, AI, write this forward the way Dr. Michael Koku will write it.
Do you think it was similar to what you would do?
I said, I, it seems I wrote this thing in my dream. It was just me. I like, wow. I said, because I was really busy at that time. I was away for a conference, and she didn't want to do that. She didn't want to. She said, "Oh, what we should do now?" She said, "AI, write it the way my mentor will write it." And she mentioned my name, and here, AI did it. It was just me. I'm like, wow. I said, "Cara, this AI is so because AI has a way of studying your works and he would just put it the way you would do it. Like, wow. I said, this is me. This is me. So
Hmm.
we need not just to be dreamers, we need to be doers. Why? The greatest gap is between dreaming and doing. I think we need more doers than dreamers because everybody have a dream. Dr. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. But we know that he's not just a dreamer, he's a doer. So the question is, a dream is worthless until you take action. Because action is what creates traction. And action requires passion. So you need passion to turn your dream into practical reality. In fact, we do authors forum every month. And that's what I challenge people. You need to turn your book writing dream into a practical. And many people have written their books. Authors forum is going to be 2 years old next month. And many people have written, somebody is working on his third book now. And this person is more than 70-year old because he saw me writing books. And that's how the Authors Forum started. So when we dreamers become doers, there will be much more people living their dream. So my encouragement for dreamers is don't be contented with dreaming, be concerned with doing.
Mm, absolutely. No, that's amazing because honestly, I call it analysis paralysis when
Yeah,
people want to be looking
yeah,
around at what's going on and wait for the perfect moment. And
yeah,
like I remember, when I was younger, I wanted to start a YouTube channel and I was
mm,
waiting for the right equipment and having the expensive gear and stuff instead of just starting.
yeah,
And definitely you're a leader in terms of the YouTube space and, having an online presence as well, and
yeah,
it's really cool to be able to, I remember when I was watching my YouTube video, well, your YouTube videos, and like how to write a book, and you're talking about the idea farm and all
yeah,
that amazing
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So, and now I'm creating content with you, so that's really cool.
yeah,
So I guess the next thing that I would like to touch on is pretty much we were talking about AI, and I know
yeah,
that you were pretty much writing books before AI was widely adopted.
yeah.
And that being said, what is your opinion on, using AI during the book writing process, maybe as an idea farm? Because I feel like that's very much how I use AI. I have a well-documented thread history with different apps, and I'm asking it questions. I'm using it for research, and all of these great things. So, what is your opinion on using AI during the book writing process?
Wow, thank you so much. And what you are saying is not only relevant for book writing, it's relevant to any content creation. Now, one thing I want to tell people is what I learned from my mentor. AI is an exaggerator. AI will make smarter people smarter, smart people smarter, and lazy people lazier. And I know it when I see people, you are just on that, it's just all AI. A lot of people, they don't even understand how to use AI. You see, because if you don't know how AI operates, you're going to abuse it. And a lot of people are lazy these days. They won't do the hard work. They will just go to AI. It's like you are ordering for a pizza. And it shows what that leads to is there's no depth. There's no there's no sense of you in that content.
Personality.
So there's no personality because don't forget AI is artificial intelligence. And the world is looking for depth. You can have depth if all you rely alone is on AI. So you have to do your own work. You can use AI as a tool. Don't depend on AI to do everything for you. You have to do your own work. You have to do your own research and use AI. Even when I'm doing something, I do content. I have this group called Light Academy that I launched last July. And I do content for 6 days in a week. So I do my research. So I use AI as a thinking partner. But even after I still have to do some correction and make it to give it some depth. So the most important thing I want to encourage people is that do the work. You have to do the work. Don't allow AI to do what you can do. There's some things that we can do, and I believe we need HI, human intelligence. So I see a lot of people, they are not using human intelligence. All they rely on is AI, and that won't be work. That won't work. So we need to complement AI with HI, human intelligence. So that's what I'm going to say about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. So I would say this in terms of the people that are already in business, right?
Yeah.
So, what would you say? How does someone rebuild their confidence after leadership failure? We talked about failing fast. We talked about,
Failing forward.
failing forward. In terms of failing, it's really essential to growth.
Yeah.
Um, how would you recommend that someone would rebuild confidence after having failure in leadership? For maybe some of the rebuilders out there that are
Yeah.
really pivoting a career like you, not necessarily that you failed in the medical field, but someone that's pivoting, I guess you could say.
Well, that's a very good question. And I want to say, first of all, Kat, I want to commend you. You're such a very inspiring, great man. I tell you, Kat, the only thing I can do for you is to die for you. Jesus already did that.
Oh
Because
man, thank
because
you.
when I see people like you, for instance, I want to pour into you. So I was having a Zoom meeting with a lady from Ghana. She's 28 years old. I didn't know her. I met her on LinkedIn. And she started a leadership group called Mindset Trifecta. She read biochemistry. That's what she read. And they invited me last Friday to speak. She was doing a graduation for the third cohort. And and I accepted it and I went. They want me to come on Saturday. I said, no, my Saturdays are booked. So the point is, I just said, okay, after the meeting, I would like to know your story, to know your journey. And for 30 minutes, we are just together. Now, the reason why I brought that one out is this: your confidence can be built when you decide to take action. Confidence does not come before action. It only comes after action. So when you fail, don't make excuses. Own it. I failed and let people know I'm going to learn from this failure. Remember the circle of success. So your failing requires learning and improvement. Because the more you want to go forward as a business person, even all these great people that we know, they are still failing, but they are always failing forward.
Hmm.
Because the more you test, the more you're going to fail. And the more you're going to fail, the more you're going to learn. So I think the main thing I would just encourage people is change your attitude towards failure. And attitude change is a choice. Because I mean, you closing business deal, you know what I'm talking about. There's some things that you want to do that doesn't go your way. The question is, will you quit because of that? No, because winners never quit and quitters never win. And when the going gets tough, only the top gets going. So the only failure is when you quit. But as long as you stay in the game, you're gonna test, you're gonna fail, but guess what? You're gonna learn and improve. And that's how leaders get better. So I want to encourage you, stay in the game. MC Hammer said, it is too legit to quit. Never quit. Never quit. Winston Churchill said, never, never, never quit. Do you know that the Allied forces, they will have lost the war to Hitler? They went 1 minute above the Nazi forces, and that's how they won. If they have quit 1 minute before, they will have lost. Only God knows what will have happened to history. But I want to encourage you. There's somebody out there that is looking up to you. Now, can I tell you something? Can I ask you a question?
Please
I know
do, yeah.
you'll be answering me some question. Have you ever feel like quitting before in this business? I want you to be real.
Yeah, all the time. Of
But
course people
what
want to
kept you
quit.
going?
My passion for my mission and the
Exactly.
and loving the love for serving the people.
And that was it. So, do you know what burns us out? We don't burn out because of what we do. We get burned out because we forget why. Your why is what keep you doing. If your why is all about you, you will last a while. But if your why is all about the people, if you ask me what's my why is, I have a powerful why. One of the books that I wrote is Four Keys for Effective Leadership. And the acronym is ESPN. E, effective communication. S, strong values. P, a powerful why. And then N, network nurturing. My powerful why is HOPE, is hope. That's the name of my company, Esperanza Manifold Concept. Hope means helping other people excel. That's my why. That's why I'm here today. My wife and I, we went there. I said, no, I gotta be on the podcast. She said, well, yeah, I gotta. I said, I'm supposed to even go there live, but he said virtual. I mean, because I took my wife out. We went out. We just came together. I said, no. Normally, I normally take a nap in the afternoon. I said, no, I will save this nap. I want to be with this great man. I want to be with Carter. I couldn't get. You couldn't get me all this. Why? Because I got so much thing in the beginning of the year. So much thing. Even right now, I got a lot on my plate. But I said, today, I got you on my schedule. So I want to encourage all those people listening to us. Never, never quit. And this is why you need a mentor. I want to encourage you. You need to get a mentor. I wrote a book. One of the book I wrote here is the Mentorship Advantage that shows. In fact, I did something in this book. I did a survey in this book of 70 leaders from different part of the world. And one of the things I did in this book, the research that I did is why people shun mentorship. And the result is inside this book. It will really surprise you when I begin to uncover the reason why many people shun mentorship and why do people shun chapter 3. I mean, this is well researched. Why do people shun mentorship? Because a man called Paul J. Meyer said the reluctance to accept mentorship often stems from a fear of dependency and loss of perceived autonomy. You see, people don't say, oh, I don't want to depend on anybody. I want to be my own person. But listen to me. You still need a mentor because mentors give you wings to fly. I have a mentor. My mentor is behind me. Dr. Joe Maswell. He's the number one in the world. I subscribe to his mentorship. My goal is to read all his books. His new book now is one of the book I'm reading now. Because when you have mentors, it gives speed to your life. What should take you many years will take you few years. So mentorship is key, and then don't forget your why. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's incredible. And I'm really happy that you were here today to share this with the people. I have
Yeah,
one more question for you and then we'll hop off. So pretty much my question for you is if someone listening wants to become the kind of leader that people trust, what
yeah,
is the thing that they could do first to start? And I know that we talked about, leading yourself first, of course,
yeah.
but I guess something else. And I think that um the more specific that you could be, the better. Like even like maybe a habit, right? Or something like that could be a really good answer for this one. For the person that's, looking to become the kind of leader that people trust, where would they start first?
If you want to be the kind of people that people trust, you have to be a person of integrity. Integrity is so key. A person of character. And this is where many leaders are failing. For instance, I just this is not I'm not trying to be political about how a congresswoman just resigned today because he was about to be punished. I mean, he was about to face the punishment from the committee, and he was saying it was a witch hunt. But the truth is this: they said you took 5 million during the coronavirus period, and there's a lot, and she's not the only one. There's so many of them involved. So that's a leadership, and that's a character issue. Because when you lack character, you know, integrity serve. No, let me tell you what somebody said, what a great leader said about integrity. He said, when money is lost, nothing is lost. He said, when health is lost, something is lost. But when integrity is lost, everything is lost. So I want to encourage every leader listen to me. You need to be a person of integrity. What does integrity means? Integrity is when how you live is in line with what you say. That means your life is the same in public and in private. And it's so important as leader because people doesn't want a phony. People want a leader that is credible. Carter, I got a friend of mine, very good friend of mine. He gave me a business. He wanted to pay me the balance, and he overpaid me. I called him. I said, "You made a mistake. You pay me above what you owed me." He said, "Really?" I mean, there's no way he could have known. I could have kept the money, but I called him and I gave him the money back. That is integrity. And I believe this is what leadership is all about. There's something I call the vitamin C of leadership. The V is vision, I is integrity, T is transparency, and the C is competency. But the most important thing is a leader must be a person of integrity. Because when people find out that you lying, there's a lot of leaders that they do something in private that they will now come out in public. And we just saw, I don't want to mention him, someone now going for California governor, and people begin to come out, women begin to come. And this is someone that was at the forefront going after somebody else that have, I mean, that was in the foremost of the Me Too movement. But not knowing that the same thing, you going after someone else, you doing it. So we need leaders that are credible, that has not a double life. Is the same way you live on the stage is the same way you live off the stage. Some people have said, well, no, it doesn't matter what I do. No, it matters. It matters. And that's why I don't believe in this influencer business. I believe in positive influencers, not just influencers. Because you can be an influencer. The question is, are you influencing people positively or negatively? Because you can say you are an influencer now and you living a double life. I was watching the movie, Cara. It was so funny. This lady, she will come on TikTok and tell people what to do and all that, not knowing that the same thing she's telling ladies not to do. Oh, don't fall for men. Don't follow men because of money. He has a dude that anytime the dude called him, he gotta come because he know that anytime he comes, he gonna give him a big money just to sleep with him. And he's doing just the same thing until one day they found him out. They found her out. And somebody said, wow. So you've been deceiving us. And there's so many people there on TikTok on like living double life. And people think that wow, they are credible. So I want to encourage everyone, be a person of integrity. Let your public life be the same with your private life. And that's why I'll leave you with this definition. Success is when the people closest to you, they respect you the most. The closest person to me is my wife. And by the grace of God, I have my wife respect. Because I can tell anybody about leadership. You can hear me. I can shout leadership from morning till night, but she knows better. And that's the greatest part of my life. My wife has seen the transformation that has happened since I get into this journey. I can tell you with all humility, for the past 6 years since I started the leadership journey, my wife knows I'm a different person. Something happened today because I was taking her out. So I was waiting for her. I know the former me, but when she didn't come, oh, you took time to come. What is taking you time? I didn't say anything. I was just calm. She said she was even apologizing. I didn't even think about it. No, we fine. We going. We're gonna be okay. She said, "Oh, my husband has changed." Because if you can't change yourself, you can't change the world. Yeah. So that's what I'm learning. And I just realized that we need to be the same person privately and the same person publicly. Nothing funny. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Michael Koku.
You're
It
welcome.
has been a true pleasure to have you on this platform.
Oh, I'll be
Again,
glad. I'll be glad
again,
to serve you, Carter. Just let me know anything that you need. And you are such a great person. I want to tell you something. I respect what you're doing. You are such a great person. It's not about the age, it's all about the heart. and you got the it factor. Thank you so much. And I want to appreciate your team too, and for all that you do to serve, beyond this part of the world. It's all about the globe. Yeah, I believe so much that the world is my parish. I'm a citizen of the world.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm always trying to grow my impact and really trying to go global and
yeah,
continuing to go after that is huge.
yeah.
But thank you so much. If you could just tell the people where they can find you online,
Mhm.
and things like that, please do.
That's good. You can find me on LinkedIn as Dr. Michael Koku, and you can find me on Facebook as Michael Koku. You can find me on Instagram as Michael Koku. Those are the handles that I use much often. And also, you can find me on YouTube. I have a lot of content on Dr. Michael Koku channel. Yeah, so you can have a lot of free content. And this Saturday, April 25th, I didn't know when this is going to go live. I'll be having a special masterclass on how to read more books. And, people have been waiting for that. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck with your upcoming class. And yes, guys, I'm a big fan of Dr. Michael's online presence, especially with his YouTube channel, with guides everything from how to, write a book and so many other things. And he even has other events, online events and in person that, you guys could take advantage of. So thank you, Dr. Michael. And this has been the Entrepreneurs Club podcast. Thank you for staying for this episode, and I'll see you guys next time. All right.
Wow. It's my pleasure to serve. And thank